Okay. Okay. I'm here. Hi. You know, you try to clear out your sinuses before stream, but, at some point, there's just a point where you're just gonna have to be like, I'm just gonna be stuffy all stream. Hi. It me. It Chris. I'm sick today. Just a day cold. Had a bit of a COVID scare, actually, but, you know, it didn't actually turn into COVID, so heck yes. That's something to celebrate at least. So, you know, I thought I was gonna call it a day, but, I was like, oh, well, I kinda wanna, trying to take care of myself, just sit back, relax, you know, have low energy, and maybe play a video game I like. So I'm like, hey, being kind of quiet and low energy with sardonic sense of humor is kind of what I do. And you know what'll have a lot of voice acting that I don't have to talk over? Genshin. And that's why I'm here. So I'm gonna do the rest of the Muskets and Roses quest. Maybe I'll even do Navia's quest at some point. But we'll see about that.
Good morning! Hayaka and I were just talking about you.
Is Chevra still not joining us today?
Probably not. We haven't seen her either.
Huh? That's such a pity. Director Farina said that we've only got a few small scenes left before wrapping up the entire thing. She even said that she'll get me into a couple scenes, so everyone will have a chance to shine in front of the camera.
We were also planning on having a victory feast once we're all finished filming. You can join us, right?
If only Chevros was here. I still haven't taken a photo with her.
I'm afraid that can't be helped. Those special patrol folks are like phantoms when they've got a case on their hands.
But to be honest, I'm even more concerned by what I read in the Steambird earlier this morning. It said that the killer in the murder case was none other than the author of the Two Musketeers.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too. He came forward and confessed his crimes, but gave no explanation as to why he pulled the trigger. We didn't know about this case at all when we joined the film. Is it going to affect the reception of our work?
From a pure publicity standpoint, this will draw a lot more attention to our film. I have to say, though, that no director can be perfectly comfortable with garnering attention through means other than artistic skill.
To be fair, I feel like that ship sailed the moment you allowed yourself to be named as the director on our posters.
It's not my fault that I'm super popular. What was that saying again? My popularity has
Sunk to an all-time low?
spread to the four corners of Teyvat.
Thank God she corrected her. Loading real fast today.
Excuse me, everyone.
Xavier! Feels like it's been ages since we last saw you.
I've been talking non-stop with the Film Association, and I'm absolutely swamped trying to coordinate the film's marketing. So forgive me for not being around more often, but please believe me when I say that I will make sure everyone's hard work gets the exposure it deserves.
Oh, seems like you've been fighting your own battles.
Yes, that's one way to put it. Oh, and before we begin the final round of filming, please allow me to finally introduce you to the original investor of our film, Mr. Morris.
The one that left you high and dry.
A pleasure to meet you all.
Yes, glad to make your acquaintance, Mr. Morris. We've heard about the issues you've encountered with your financial situation, and genuinely hope that things have taken a turn for the better.
Ayaka. You don't have to be a perfect angel to everybody. This is the guy who both reneged on a deal and said, by the way, you can't make any other deals, even though I reneged on it.
Oh, well, the situation has indeed improved somewhat.
Don't worry, Mr. Morris. Accidents and last-minute challenges happen all the time. There's no need to blame yourself over it.
But we should blame you for the exclusivity thing that you apparently held to after you flaked out on it.
The good news is that we're almost done filming now. And I would even say that this is the best story I've ever seen.
Is that so? I see, that's great news.
All right, now that we've gotten all the pleasantries out of the way, let's get the show on the road. We'll mostly be filming typical people and scenery from the streets today to improve the sense of environmental ambiance in some parts of the film. Oh, and there'll be a cameo for Mr. Kamisato and Miss Yoimiya as well. They'll be used to show outsider perspectives on the fates of the two musketeers.
That's right. Ayato should be here any minute.
Excellent! Then let's start with the scenery shots. Camera and clapper loader, you're up.
Yep, we'll be ready.
Remember, all we need are some wide zoom shots of the streets. If you happen to find some particularly lovely patches of flowers and grass, feel free to grab some close-ups of those as well. Ready? Lights! Camera! Action! Okay, now move the camera slowly. Try to focus on that flower.
Okay, I'm not actually controlling it.
What's wrong? Just adjust the focal length a bit. Something the matter? Huh? But wasn't it working fine for all the days before? Veronique, can we try a different camera?
Also, she's standing in front of the camera.
No
I'm
problem.
supposed to be behind.
How about this one?
All right, let's give it another try. Lights, camera, action! Don't tell me. This one is broken too. Veronique, do we have any other spare ones we can use?
I'm afraid we only brought these two today.
What? Then go find a workshop to get them repaired right away. Oh, and you too, Bono. Go find our spare camera in the warehouse and bring it back to the set.
On it.
Greetings, everyone. My apologies for the delay. Is something the matter, Ayaka?
It seems like there are some issues with the filming equipment today. We're stuck for the moment.
I see.
Well, let's not just stand here twiddling our thumbs. Actors, to the makeup booth. We'll start on the next scene as soon as we get a working camera.
After some time, Veronique repaired.
The people at the workshop
returns.
told me that the part which holds the lens in place seemed to have fallen off. That's super strange. It was perfectly fine just yesterday.
Well, no time to dwell on that now. Let's get back to filming. Ahem! Quiet on set! Places, everyone! Lights! Camera! Action!
I'm sure nothing else is going on.
By the way, have you heard about that recent murder case?
Yes, I have. It seems that they've caused quite the commotion in the city.
I heard that the chief of the guards is so mad about not catching the culprit that he's about to explode.
Oh? I find that quite hard to imagine, considering how he already looks most days.
Director, we have a problem.
Oh, We're in the middle of a take! Couldn't you wait until we wrapped up this scene?
No, Director, our film, all the finalized film that we've been keeping in the case has disappeared.
Sabotage? You don't say.
Wait, what did you say?
Mr. Bonneau, please take me to where the film was kept right away.
I'm coming too.
No, Yoimiya, you have to stay here. Oh. Okay, listen up. Everyone who's not working on this current scene can go with Bonneau to look for the film. Everyone else, stay put and wrap up the scene. Unbelievable. How could all these problems happen in just one day?
We're back.
How did it go? Did you find the film?
Après un peu mieux.
We found it in the sewers.
Huh? In the sewers? Is the film still okay?
We discovered it just in time, so we should still be able to salvage it. The others are checking now to see if we lost any specific scenes.
You scared me for a moment there. I nearly thought we had lost everything.
Boy, you'd think the perpetrator would have, like, chucked it in a fire if they meant to destroy it.
I really don't want to experience that feeling of despair again.
Okay, but who could have stolen the film and dumped it there?
Could it be some competitors working on other films?
But if they wanted to harass us, why wait until the last day?
Because that's the day we can't possibly recover all the stuff we did.
Okay, we don't have time to really look into it right now. Let's strike while the iron is still hot and wrap this thing up once and for all.
Yeah, let's finish it.
I would like to officially announce that our entry to the festival, The Two Musketeers, has now concluded filming!
Paimon is spent. It's so late already.
Even though the filming process proved to be extremely challenging, everyone provided valuable and unique contributions to the final product. Thank you all for your dedication and support.
And just like Director Farina, I would also like to extend my most heartfelt thanks to all of you. Really, you've all helped me so much. I just...
All right. Let's save the awards speech for later, and hopefully also get some rehearsals in before the real thing. Anyway, now it's time to party! Let's all make our way to the beach and have a celebration feast so loud and fun that even the blubber beast will want in.
Party, party! Paimon wants to party!
Can't just not take some rainbow roses while they're here. They're on offer, for goodness sakes.
Whoa, this place is hopping. Everyone's finally getting to relax after wrapping up the film. Let's go chat with someone.
Oh, this place is hopping. It's like it just literally was just here and never mind.
Hey, Ayato! How's your work been going?
Everything went rather smoothly. Thank you for your concern.
Ayato told me that we've already confirmed the dates for some Inazuma Fontaine cultural exchange events. So the next time we visit, we'll be doing so in our capacities as the representatives of the Yashiro Commission.
I can't wait to show to everybody how great our police state is.
Oh, that's great! Then maybe Paimon will be able to find Fontaine detective novels in Inazuma from now on. Oh, wait. Wouldn't Yaimiko get upset if that happens? That would be stealing some of her business.
As long as they're
You've got a
interesting
point.
enough.
She's always complaining that light novels have become bland and too predictable after all.
The cultural exchange won't only feature literatures of both nations, of course. We have also made plans for cross-cultural engagements in the fields of gourmet cuisine, toy making, and artisan craftsmanship.
Artisanal craftsmanship.
Whoa, Paimon's getting super excited now!
When the time comes, be sure to visit and participate in all the events.
Wonder if they've actually got that planned out. And that'll be an actual event. Could be. Never know. Oh man.
Farina!
Oh god, those cupcakes on the tray are making me wish I had one real bad.
Oh, my darling clapper loader and camera operator. You've both worked really hard.
Paimon thinks you worked even harder than us. Honestly, Paimon was getting a little tired of playing with the clapperboard by the end of it. Worst of all, Paimon started having dreams of you shouting, "Lights, camera, action!" into Paimon's ears. The actual dream can't even start until you've yelled that.
Hey, if anything, shouldn't I be more grand and delightful than your dreams? We've been through so much together, and that's how your brain remembers me?
It's Paimon. You should be happy that anything retains in her brain at all.
That's not Paimon's fault. We've just used the clapperboard too much lately.
Anyway, what's most important is that we wrapped the film. I'm pretty confident that we'll take first prize.
Alright, it's called the Farina Award.
Hey, no need to mention the official name.
Wait, now that you mention it, if we did win the prize, would Farina just get a statue of herself?
And could there be a better prize, Paimon?
Come on, I don't need that kind of attention. Xavier can accept the reward on our behalf.
But just imagine! Farina accepting the Farina Award and holding a Farina statue.
I'm going back to my dessert now. You all can keep discussing that on your own.
Be Farina's all the way down.
Chiori!
Hey, you two.
Are you not really into these kinds of big social occasions?
No, I'm just always in a state of ironic detachment.
Not particularly. But this is still better than Fontaine Fashion Week.
But if this film becomes a big hit, people will definitely come flocking to your shop.
Yes, that's highly likely. As long as the film can premiere as planned.
Are you still worried about the case?
That and all the obstacles we had to face today.
You're right. It's as if all our bad luck just manifested at once.
But why today of all days?
She says, casting a side eye towards the investor who flaked out.
No, it's nothing. We've already delivered the film to the editors, so there should be nothing more to worry about.
How are you doing, Mr. Morris? You having a good time?
Well, you could say that. Do you happen to know when the party is scheduled to end?
Judging by how much fun everyone's having, I'd say probably not until well after midnight. Is there something that you still have to take care of at home, Mr. Morris?
Oh, I was just wondering how much the people who are actually dedicated to the film would be tied up for, for no reason.
I'm just
at
not a late night
all.
person, so I might take off shortly.
Yeah, knowing that you'll all be really distracted for the next couple of hours.
Oh no! Silly me. I almost forgot something super important.
Oh, I saw that glance.
Oh, what is it?
I prepared a whole batch of fireworks for the party, but I forgot to bring them over from the warehouse.
Fireworks, you say? Well, that's truly a pity. Sorry things didn't go as planned.
Could you help me carry them over, Mr. Morris? I won't be able to fetch all of them by myself.
Me? Are you sure that you can't find anyone else?
I just wanted to make this surprise for everyone. The warehouse isn't far from here. We'll be there in no time. Pretty please, Mr. Morris. These are some of the best fireworks I've ever made. So I also want you to see them before you leave. They're stunning. I promise that they'll be a once-in-a-lifetime experience that you'll never forget.
She may be a perfect cinnamon roll, but she's also cunning.
But...
It's okay. Just come with me. If we're sneaky enough, nobody else will see us leaving.
all right.
The warehouse is right over here. I moved the fireworks there in advance, so it shouldn't be too much work bringing them back.
It's still a ways away from the party.
Not really.
Sorry about that, Mr. Morris. It's probably because I'm used to carrying fireworks all the time, so it doesn't feel like a lot of work to me.
Like, this is... Like, we could fire them off from here and they'd be fine. This is... no universe where I'd say, oh, it's so far away. But I guess he, wants to get out of it real bad, so. Alright. I guess I accept this dialogue. This time. For now.
It's dark in here. Wait here, Mr. Morris. I think the light switch should be somewhere over here.
Why did I have to get roped into this? What was that? Who's there? Get me out! Get me out of here!
Did you really think you'd get away, Morris?
You've got the wrong guy. It wasn't me. I'm not the killer.
You know, Eliza died a far more heroic death than this. She fought your assassin to the end, to save the children she had hidden beneath the floorboards. That is Eliza's pendant. The one with a photo of you two inside. The one you gave her. Ring any bells?
It's a fake! It has to be! There's no way!
No way your assassin didn't destroy it, you mean? Did you ever love her, Morris? Or was killing her always the plan?
No, please. Listen to me. I told Eliza to keep us a secret. I paid her plenty for her silence. I never thought she'd keep the child. Everything was gonna come out, and I had no choice. She'd force my hand. No! I'm begging you. I have money. Just name your price, please.
You can keep your Mora, and you can go to hell. I'm Captain Shovraz of the Special Patrol. Morris, you're under arrest for Eliza's murder.
Huh?
You're under arrest too, prop manager Veronique. Or perhaps I should call you the Second Musketeer.
Wait, what's going on? This wasn't in the script.
I love it. That was really nice. They call it Chekhov's gun, but I didn't think when they spent so much time on the prop guns looking as real as possible that they'd actually bring it back. I thought not unfoundedly that they were just killing time. But this event's real good.
Drop the gun, Veronique. Why? Why would you keep me from exacting revenge on this heartless monster?
Drop your weapon. This is my final warning.
What is going on?
Do I have to spell it out for you, Morris? Everything that took place just now was staged to get you to confess the truth.
Yeah, you might want to get a mop for where he was sitting.
But this last part is all improv, of course.
Shivers, you told us you wanted us to help you stage a play. You never said anything about the Second Musketeer.
It's because even I had no way to confirm my theory until now. Thank you for your performance, Yoimiya. Could I trouble you to go and bring in the other Special Patrol members? They should be on standby just outside. Oh, and please tell the other cast members not to worry about us. We'll be rejoining them shortly.
On it.
So what do you think, Morris? Care to talk about what happened 20 years ago? My patience is limited, you know. Don't force me to take you back to the interrogation room. I'd wager that you wouldn't last for more than a minute in there.
And you know what? I take back what I said about Inazuma. Fontaine and Inazuma would get along absolutely splendidly with their police states.
With the recording we made, you have no chance of winning in court. Cooperating with us now is the most practical move.
All right. I'll talk. I hired an assassin to murder Elisa. She once worked as a maid on my family's estate. She was very beautiful, and after some time I fell for her. We kept our relationship a secret and carried out an affair for some time, but it wasn't long before she became pregnant. And if my parents ever found out, they would have stripped me of my inheritance and status, driven me out of my home. I also didn't expect Elisa to insist on bringing the pregnancy to term. She even asked me to leave my family and travel far, far away with her.
The VA assumed that he would be sobbing through all this, but he just looks angry.
She believed that you were truly in love with her.
I didn't have a choice. I gave her a large sum of mora, told her to leave the family and to get rid of the baby. But then years later, she sent me a letter. There were photos of 2 children, and she even asked if I could find some time to visit them.
Huh? 2 children? Paimon thought Baptiste was the only... you mean...
Dun dun dun!
Even if she had the children against your will, you could have just ignored the letter entirely. Why kill her?
I had just gotten engaged to be married to an heiress from another wealthy family. So if anyone were to find out about Elisa, my life would be completely ruined. I didn't have a choice.
No. You always had a choice. You just made the wrong choice. Again.
Do you know how it feels to watch your mother be killed right in front of you? My brother and I were hardly even school age yet. We were hidden beneath the floorboards, grasping each other's hands like a lifeline. We were so terrified that we didn't even know we could ever take a breath. All we could do was to watch Mother try to fight back, and then collapse to the floor. Even after the assassin left, we were still too terrified to leave our hiding spot. We thought that he might come back. It was only until the next evening when we finally climbed out and gathered around our mother. But she had already become cold and stiff to the touch.
You made up your mind right then and there to bring this case to light.
Not only that, we resolved to get our revenge.
And that's why you became the Musketeers.
No, that's why I became a musketeer. The man from before was also killed by me. My brother had nothing to do with it.
I figured as much.
You did?
I once told these two that he didn't look like a killer to me. His confession from that night also rubbed me the wrong way. I think what really tipped me off was, how could I not feel a sense of regret in him?
Huh?
He confessed faster than any criminal I've ever met, but he didn't say a single word about you. He insisted that he was the sole perpetrator in the case. But after the questioning ended, I disassembled the musket we dug up from his backyard, put it in front of him, and told him to reassemble it. Wanna guess how far he got? He had no idea where to even start. He's never touched a gun in his life. Based on that, I determined that he was not acting alone. He only surrendered himself to draw our attention and create a moment of opportunity for his partner. So, I decided to play along. And as expected, the second musketeer followed us without hesitation once she saw Morris get separated from the rest of the cast. Besides, why else would he call the novel The Two Musketeers?
But how did you know it was Veronique?
I figured it out the moment Baptiste told me his father's name. That so-called financial crisis was all just a ruse. He just wanted to sign up as the investor and then leave the film without any source of funding.
And then the exclusivity thing that he forced them to hold on to even though he dropped out makes perfect sense.
After
My
all,
God.
he has a vested interest in minimizing the reach of this story. It's really just the same thing as what he did to Elisa all those years ago.
Human scum.
But then Xavier pulled out all the stops and got the film made against all odds. Morris couldn't have that. With the killer in custody, he figured it was safe to act. And so he came to visit the set today, just as I expected.
Wait, so you were behind all those mishaps today?
As for the identity of the second musketeer, I assumed they'd probably stay close to Morris and look for an opening. And if they already knew that Morris was the film's investor,
Then that narrowed the list of potential suspects as well. Furthermore, being the props manager would allow the culprit to avoid scrutiny by purchasing mechanical parts in the name of the crew. With that hypothesis in mind, I went back to check Baptiste's orphanage adoption records. Guess whose name I saw on the same page, just a few lines from his.
My brother. He trusted you.
As in, he trusted me to perform the deed on his behalf?
He trusted you to stand on the side of justice.
I am.
I thought you could do it as well. Oh, the look on your face when you told him to go to hell. I really thought you'd put a bullet in his brain. You know what he has done. Are you telling me that you'd rather see him spend the rest of his life living like a king in the fortress of Meripede? I will never be able to forget the feeling of my mother's cold, lifeless hands. And you would call this ending fair? Is this what you call justice?
I won't lie, Veronique. I did hesitate when your brother first told me about the truth. I wondered. I agonized over whether I should really put a bullet in his head.
So why don't you?
Because that should never be how justice is carried out in this world. Perhaps, to you, justice is simply reciprocated. An eye for an eye, and a life for a life. But everyone has their own understanding of justice. If everyone were to pursue their own definition of it, there would be no more order in this world. Today, you'll kill Morris. And tomorrow, his children may come for you. The world cannot render judgments based on a desire for revenge. That will only lead to a cycle of revenge, as well as the destruction of order and civilized society. Fontaine is founded on a set of laws and a standardized code of justice. That is why we are the nation of justice. But with all that said, I will promise you this. Morris will not lead a cushy life in the fortress of Meripede.
Chevreuse, the rest of the Special Patrol is here.
Thank you so much, Yoimiya. Letelier, Terena, please take them away.
I still can't agree with your reasoning.
I know.
Justice has not been delivered. At least, not today.
Chevreuse.
Let's go. We should give an explanation to the crew. Thank you for your concern. I'm fine. I'm just thinking about the things in life that have driven people to take justice into their own hands.
Yeah, it was pretty effed up.
Who would have thought Morris would turn out to be... I'm at a loss of words. How could he have done something like this?
I'm just glad that you're all safe and sound. Who knew that such a labyrinth of cases would be behind this story?
Well, what should we do now? We have a finished film, of course, but should we still go ahead with the premiere?
What do you mean? Shouldn't you be even more motivated to spread the word now that you've learned the truth?
Chiori is right. I'd also like more people to see this story for themselves.
But the real ending of the story seems to have deviated somewhat from the one in the script. Is that still acceptable to you, Miss Chevreuse?
The call is yours. We still have time to reshoot an ending if that's what you'd like.
No, it's fine as is. I like what we have for the catharsis. Romanticism is what gives works of art their appeal. Fiction is able to explore means of restitution that could never work in real life. Just like the real world, the world of stories also has its own set of rules and justice. These different possibilities are what initially drew me to reading in the first place.
Sounds good to me. I support your decision.
What about Veronique? Will she be okay?
She will soon face her judgment alongside her brother and Morris. If I had to guess, they'll probably all be sent to the fortress of Meripede. I'll make sure to give Risley a heads up about it.
Oh, you mean that kind of heads up?
Exactly.
Ahem. All right, then the matter's settled. Now that everything's been taken care of, there's no reason for us to keep looking all gloomy and grumpy. Let's get back to these and and enjoy each other's company. We'll be starting the post-production process tomorrow. You should join us, Chevros. You missed the first few hours of the party, didn't you?
All right. Count me in.
Then I'll wait for you over there. There's still some good news that I'd like to share with Chevros.
Traveler, Paimon, could you wait for me by the sea after the party ends? I'd like to go on a brief walk with the two of you. Thank you very much.
Wait. Were the fireworks a complete ruse? Are we not gonna have fireworks? But Yoimiya's here. We have to have fireworks.
Sorry for the wait.
Oh, we weren't waiting long at all. Is there something else you wanted to tell us?
No, I don't have anything new to share. I just felt that since you were my investigation partners, I should have another conversation with the two of you.
Oh man, I wonder if the weather change was scripted.
Traveler, how would you have responded to Baptiste's request if you were in my shoes?
Gosh, that's a good question. I could just say I don't know because I don't know. I don't think like the storyteller in me loves thinking, nah, I'd have blew his brains out. He deserved it. But I don't know if I'd have had the guts to actually do that. Well, I'm gonna say the middle.
Just like the protagonist of the story, huh? Can't say it doesn't suit you. When I was young, my father often took me here to swim. We'd come rain or shine, even when it was freezing cold. He told me that swimming was the best activity to train one's strength of will. You could never give up before reaching the shore, especially when the water was cold.
Oh? Why's that?
Because the moment you give up would be the moment you die. At that point, I still hadn't received my vision.
So is it... So vision holders can just breathe Fontanian water? Or can everybody? I don't know.
One winter, the chilly wind felt almost like knives on my skin, and the seawater was so frigid that it numbed my toes the moment I stepped in. I cried and begged my father to spare me from having to swim across, but he wouldn't listen. He used to be a member of the Special Patrol as well. You could say it was his way of educating his children.
Traumatizing and nearly killing them. Cool.
That sounds awful.
When he saw that I wouldn't stop crying, he just picked me up and tossed me into the icy water.
Oh, cool. So it got worse.
The bone-chilling cold took away my senses. I couldn't feel anything but fear and rage. I waited for my father to save me, but one look and I knew he'd already started swimming for the opposite shore. I realized that if I were to give up, I really would die right then and there.
This is not a heartwarming story.
I used all of my strength to try and catch up to my father. Those few minutes felt longer than my whole life up until that point. I did, however, make it to the other side. I've never felt afraid about anything in my life after that, nor have I ever cried again.
No.
That way of teaching would have never worked on Paimon.
You know, that's just trauma. You were traumatized is what happened. And now everything else pales in comparison to the trauma.
I don't think that was the right method for anyone. It's just that, working now as I am in the pursuit of justice, I still sometimes feel like I've been tossed into that winter sea all over again. The anger and the helplessness.
It's weird how my mind always just comes back to that really traumatic moment.
Chevros.
But the worse I feel, the more I know to never give up. The alternative would be to forever lose myself among the waves. Anyway, how about a race? Neither of us will drown, but we can still see who swims faster.
No, I do not say I'm game. I say Chevres, you and I need to have a serious talk about seeing a therapist.
You guys go ahead! Paimon will grab the clapperboard to mark the start of the race.
Man, I was so happy with the writing up till that moment. And then, like, no, we shouldn't turn that into a happy story. Like, maybe they can sort of, like, get away with it given that they just literally, in the last scene, had a brief moment where they were like, yeah, well, you know, when it comes to artistic media, we can indulge in the fantasies a little bit. Even though they'd never work in real life. Because boy, oh boy, is that ever the case there.
Oh, that felt good.
You were so fast in the water, Chevres. You were swimming even faster than Paimon can fly. So, about the special patrol. Did you join because of your dad?
Partly, but I'd say I was more inspired by the heroes I read about in stories growing up.
Oh, so it's due to your love of stories.
Of course, it was only after I joined the Special Patrol that I learned that truth is often stranger than fiction. Come on, let's walk a bit more. To be honest, I do sometimes question whether the decisions I make are the right ones. But I know that no matter what, I must keep swimming. Because the only thing I've got my eyes on is the shore in the distance. Thank you for coming on this walk with me. I feel a lot better after getting all that off my chest.
Yeah, welcome.
We're nearly back at Baptiste's house.
Huh, you're right. I didn't realize we were so close.
He really did plant a lot of flowers. It's just like how he described it in the story.
I also like how we just dove in our regular street clothes and now we're just walking in them like, it's just cool.
Wait, Paimon, Traveler, look! The rainbow roses in the garden. They're in full bloom now.
Also, there appears to be some treasure hoarders camping out in front of his house now. Also, I think that just completed all my commissions because that was a huge quest. Yeah. As it does these days. It's nice. Now, if I was being efficient, I'd be like, oh, well, I better save the next part of the story for the next day. Also, thank you, Navia. This is the best idle animation I've ever seen. Anyway. Today, tomorrow, and then the day after. Because it says wait for 2 days. Man, this would have been a great time to get another drink. Soothe my aching throat. Go to the film festival venue. Okay. I was very briefly pondering just slapping those two around, but I really don't need treasure hoarder insignias at all. Ooh, will Farina get the Farina Award? Will Farina hold a statue of Farina so that she has a Farina so she can Farina while she Farinas? The film was a successful premiere, and the Musket murder case also comes to an end.
Hey, it's been a while.
Hey there, you two! Sorry I've been scarce. I've been buried in marketing and preparing the film for release ever since we wrapped post-production.
The award ceremony is today, right? Paimon wonders if we'll win the Farina Award.
I'd give it a 90% chance.
Farina! Oh, Paimon didn't know you were already here. You're earlier than everyone else.
I'm sure the others will also be here in no time. Xavier, if we end up getting called on stage, shouldn't you come up with a name for our crew?
What? But we don't even know if we're going to win. I wouldn't want to jinx our chances by celebrating early.
Just open your eyes! Surely you've seen the audience's reactions to our film. We've had nothing but critical acclaim.
Also, it's me.
You've also had conversations with the Opera House's operating staff, right? Didn't they want to increase the number of showings? With the mora you've made from the box office, you can now open your very own film company.
But that's all credit to my amazing crew. You've all helped to make this a reality, so I can't be the only one asked to come up with a name.
There's also the possibility of, like, paying the actors now that you've made a bunch of money back.
Well, give it some thought. I'm sure the crew will respect your choice.
All right, but before that, Traveler and Paimon, could I trouble you to quickly pay a visit to the Fortress of Meripede?
Oh, thank God, an epilogue.
Huh? But shouldn't we stay for the award ceremony?
I wanted to ask you two to invite Shavraz to join us at the ceremony. She's one of the lead roles, after all. I haven't been able to find her recently, so I haven't had the chance to invite her personally. According to the papers, the culprits of the Musket murder case will be personally escorted today by the captain of the Special Patrol to the Fortress of Meripede.
Oh, Paimon gets it now.
Yep, piece of cake.
Yep, just wait here, Xavier. And maybe try to come up with a few snappy-sounding names.
All right, then I'll leave you to it.
Let's see. Is there a good F word that describes a group? Because I want to make it Farina's Fantastic something. It can't be family because that doesn't make any sense. Farina's Fantastic Film Crew. No, it doesn't. It's not there. I probably shouldn't give Farina top billing again, just because, you know, her head would expand
This
so
is as
much it
far
won't
as
fit
I'll
in
be
her
taking
door.
them. I'll leave the three of them to you now.
Got another errand to run?
Something like that. I'm expected at a party.
Now that's something you don't hear every day. Found a new pastime?
No, it's just a special occasion.
Shavraz! Risley!
Festivals really do bring people together. It's been a while since I last had so many visitors at the Fortress of Meripede.
Call it the festival spirit, I guess.
Yeah, you could say that. Even our head nurse has gotten herself all worked up preparing super deluxe nutritious shakes. Just one gulp and you'll have met all your nutrition needs.
Were you talking about work just now?
We've already finished discussing everything. So, what do you think about my heads up, Mr. Risley?
I believe I haven't yet made any promises or guarantees.
But you also didn't shoot me down. Here, how about this? You could give everyone a copy of the newspaper. Perhaps on the day when the cover story happens to, oh, I don't know, expose a certain someone's misdeeds from 20 years ago?
I suppose then a certain someone may soon find himself the most unlucky person in the Fortress of Meripede.
While another two people will soon be hailed as heroes.
Speaking of heroes, Did you two need something from me?
Oh, actually, we're here for...
You're here to invite me to the party, right? Don't worry, I didn't forget.
Ooh, then let's head back right away! See you, Risley! Happy Funtenalia Festival!
And the same to you. Please, go and enjoy the festival.
Well, then I will. Here, I thought you were gonna, like, give me a brief spiel on how it was gonna go with those three and be like, don't worry, I may have put up a tough exterior for Chevrolet there, but, I feel as strongly as you do about
And the winner of
justice.
the Farina Award for the first Fontenalia Film Festival is... The Two Musketeers!
We really won!
Congratulations, Mr. Xavier.
We won? I can't believe it! I really can't thank all of you enough!
See? My takes on Fontaine's entertainment industry have never been wrong.
Now,
Unlike your court
please
cases.
welcome to the stage the producer of The Two Musketeers, Mr. Xavier!
Thank you. Thank you all so much for your recognition and support. While I'm up here, I would love to give special thanks to...
Time really flies, huh?
It certainly feels that way. It feels like it was only yesterday when you were teaching me to hold a musket.
Will you come back to Fontaine again?
Of course. I'm very fond of this city. There are so many novel and interesting things that it's been hard to keep track of them all. But how about you? Would you be interested in visiting Inazuma?
I can't say the thought has crossed my mind before, but I'd be willing to consider it now.
I mean, your eyes are purple. You'd fit in perfectly.
I will be eagerly awaiting your visit. It would be wonderful if you could visit my home and enjoy a taste of our tea and desserts.
Yeah, let's keep in touch.
Did you accomplish all you came here for?
Yes. And you should visit Inazuma again sometime.
How has Ogura and her business been?
To my knowledge, she's doing quite well.
Tell her I said hi.
I certainly will.
I heard the thunderstorm has stopped.
Yes, and the war has also been brought to an end. Peace and prosperity has returned to the islands.
Wonder who's responsible for
I
that.
quite like the sound of that. Perfect for hanging textiles out to dry.
I'd like to offer my thanks again to the entire cast and crew. Without you, I would have never completed this film, much less had the opportunity to be standing on this stage. With the support of my entire crew, I would like to officially announce our film company, Musketeer Pictures.
Woohoo! That has a really nice ring to it.
It's fine.
Then in that case, let's please welcome all the members of Musketeer Pictures onto the stage for a commemorative photo.
Oh, Paimon didn't know we'd also be taking pictures.
Director Farina, I believe you are the most deserving person to raise this trophy.
Huh? No. There's no need. It's so embarrassing.
It's an honor the director deserves.
Yes, I agree.
I also agree.
Just accept that you're not getting out of this.
Ready, everyone? 3, 2, 1.
Musketeer Pictures!
I heard the Traveler's voice in there. It is Farina holding a tiny golden Farina. It's truly beautiful. Oh man. I could put that up up as furnishing. I'ma do that right now. Although I just spied Yoimiya and I have to talk to her.
Miss Yoimiya, We haven't had the chance to talk, but please accept my thanks for everything you've done over the past few days.
Oh, but I feel like I didn't do anything out of the ordinary.
Apart from playing dead, I guess.
I'm very grateful for your assistance during that special performance in the warehouse. It was always going to be somewhat risky, to engage and draw away Morris all on your own.
Yes, a known killer.
You're only a civilian and have never been trained to act in such a dangerous situation.
Don't say it like that. As the director's assistant, it was my duty to help out the crew however I could. It was an honor to help you solve the case.
Even if it meant drawing away a known killer.
I have to admit, though, my heart was thumping super hard the entire time it was laying on the ground. I was scared that everyone would notice.
You did great.
Oh, and before I forget, if you ever visit Inazuma, please come and pay a visit to Naganohara Fireworks. I'll make some fireworks for you. I even know what shape we'd make.
I'm guessing a musket.
Telling you now would ruin the surprise. If you really want to see it, just come and visit me.
It's firework shaped.
Lady Farina, please allow me to take just one more photo of you. I would also love to get your autograph, just as a memento of our time together on the crew.
Hey, I've had enough of the camera flashes from when we were all up on stage.
But, Lady Farina, you are the best director I've ever met. The most photogenic maiden in all of Fontaine. This kind of lively and celebratory setting is exactly where you shine. I believe all photographers would agree.
Xavier is unknowingly hitting Farina right in her weak spot, which is inflating her ego.
Come, the brightest star of our land. Show us your light. The camera is waiting to sing praises of your beauty.
Well, I'm flattered, but... All right. I'll humor you and try a few more different poses. But I don't have to hold the trophy, right?
Of course. You may pose however you like. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. By the heavens, my luck has been beyond belief. I'm having a hard time coming to terms with it now.
That was some pretty top tier optional dialogue. I'm glad I got a look at it. Let's see. I don't see Ayaka or well, either of them, Ayato, anywhere, so I'm just gonna go to my house and put up the picture. My house is still a bit of a work in progress, but hey, getting the picture will help that out. So that'll be great. Hey, are my furnishings done?
This realm...
Quiet, Tubby. We are. Ah, what was the other stuff I needed? Yes, I needed the lockbox. I think I needed 2 of these floral arrangements. And 2 of these, I think. No. Either way, you can never have enough floral arrangements. Also, gimme.
If you ever
Basically just turned the front of my house into a stage. It works. Anyway, let's replace one of these pictures. take the one that's literally just there to embarrass Goro away and put this one up. Yes. Excellent. Beautiful. I guess if that one's gonna be real big and special, we should maybe put a different big and special one up. It is Fontaine, so Clockwork Portrait seems appropriate enough. I also kind of want to put like a little like rope decoration here, but you know, that's for later. How close am I to the bedroom I need to make? Almost there. I don't think I have the... No. Don't think I have this one yet, though. The compact air supply device. I need two nearly aquamarines and a blooming purity, which means I may have made the wrong ones. Which, I guess, I should, like, go fix. I guess that would be a smart thing to do. Instead of just being like, whatever, just send it.
This realm.
Alright. Do not need the Art of Contrast. Do need the nearly aquamarines. Actually, I think I only need one of those, come to think of it. But I do need two blooming purities. Just the one nearly aquamarine. And the extra rug. I think it's Bathing in the Breeze. Pretty sure, given that that's the only blue rug I have. Well, blue square rug. Alright, cool. We'll let those cook.
If you ever...
Yeah. This place looks pretty okay. I did tweak a bunch of the indoor sets around to fit, you know, well enough. I think it turned out fine. I dare say. Downright lovely, in fact. Anyway. I think Naga's quest is gonna be the next thing I do. So, that's gonna be next, but as you might tell, my throat hurts and I'm gonna get a drink. So you can just, you can just chill on this screen for a second and I'll be right back. Okie dokie? Okie dokie. BRB. I'm back. Hi. I didn't take too long, I think, in my opinion. Anyway, let's go. Once I'm out of my teapot, apparently. This is a very pretty place. Soothing music. It's lovely. It's lovely and I like it. Ugh. It's gonna be kind of funny to do Navia's chapter quest while playing Navia, but you know. That's half the fun. Like, you know, when I did the commission of praying to the Electro Archon as Raiden Shogun.
Well, if it isn't my dear partners.
That voice! It's Navia!
I didn't expect to run into you guys here today. Are you headed somewhere?
Just getting our daily dose of adventuring in.
How about you, Navia? Are you still busy rebuilding Poisson?
We've wrapped up most of the rebuilding, but there are still a few things left to take care of.
Gotten over the death of your two closest confidants?
Stocking up on materials, confirming construction timelines, discussing compensation terms with families affected by the disaster. Between all of that, I've been making a lot of trips between the court and Poisson.
Wasn't Spina di Rosula affected too?
Well, though the victims have received relief payments from the court, in my opinion, as the administrators of Poisson, Spina di Rosula should take some responsibility as well. Our financial situation right now isn't the best, so all we've been doing is signing agreements for the damages to be repaid at a later date.
Oh, very precious IOUs.
Though just pieces of paper now, they demonstrate our commitment. They're necessary to restore the people's faith in us.
Oh, spoken like a true president. You're a really responsible leader. That must be taking up most of your time though, right?
Oh, you bet. Between that and all the other errands I have to run at the court, I'm always forgetting one thing or another.
Plus, you two keep dragging me on random adventures to hit, like, rocks.
So before I came over this time, I took a page from Melusa's book and decided to make a list of everything. This way, it's easy to see which tasks you haven't checked off.
And then?
And then, since Malus loved using shorthand, I decided to also follow his example and come up with some shorthand of my own. But after running a few errands in the city, I'm kind of struggling to even read my own handwriting anymore.
That does sound like you, all right. So what kind of shorthand did you use?
Oh, wanna take a look?
Let Paimon see. Wait, there's nothing here but a bunch of weird symbols. This looks like a piece of kelp wrapped around a stick. And this other one, is it supposed to be a boar in a box?
The first one has to do with confirming the final payment amount for the fishermen, while the second one is a reminder to try the new burger that just hit the market.
Traveler's expression is... yeah.
Okay, Paimon can definitely see how you might forget what each of these mean.
Yeah, maybe just use standardized symbols next time.
Thank you for your advice. These are the kinds of things you only really figure out once you've tried them out yourself. I thought that as long as I understood my shorthand when I came up with it, I'd be sure to remember the symbols when I looked at them later. Unfortunately, I've definitely proven myself wrong.
Yeah, at that point you're just kind of memorizing the list.
Well, now you know
more
for
or
next
less.
time.
Anyway, I should have already taken care of most of the things on the list. There are still a few symbols that I can't decipher, but I don't think they're anything too super important. Worst comes to worst, I'll just make another trip.
Ah, so you're going to head back now?
Ah, efficiency.
Yep, that's the plan. Oh, actually, since we talked about the reconstruction earlier, want to come with me and check out the town for yourself?
Yes, I started writing in shorthand so I could save myself some time, but if it's a disaster, I can just, make another trip from the city to the town. And that'll... Yeah, it's not like that'll erase absolutely 100,000% of the time I spent writing in shorthand as opposed to just writing it out.
You said you don't have any plans, right? So we can just catch a boat and head over. It won't take long at all.
It's a bit sudden, but Paimon doesn't see why not. What do you think, Traveler?
Yeah, sure. Why don't we just teleport over? Or are those not really a thing?
Then let's go. We'll take a boat over.
Oh, you mean the Aquabus, right? Like the Clementine line?
Oh, sorry. I meant our own boat. The Aquabus doesn't have a station near Poisson, so we'll use one of the Spina's boats.
This will transition you! Yeah, sounds good.
All right, follow me. I'll take you there. The engineer is still doing a few routine safety checks. We can head out as soon as we get the green light.
So, Paimon has always wanted to ask. The 3 Aquabus lines are all named after people in your family, right?
Alright, one is literally the Navia line.
Yeah, that's right. Callus and Navia are self-explanatory, while Clementine was the name that my mother went by.
Spina di Rosula was one of the main sponsors for the construction, right?
If you provided the Mora to build the lines, then why isn't there even a dedicated line to Poisson? Spina di Rosula built all the lines, yet you still have to take a special boat just to go home. Paimon doesn't get it.
Well, what I heard is that most of our businesses don't actually use Poisson as a hub, so there was no real reason to build a line straight to Poisson. You are right that it is a bit strange, though. If you've already committed to build 3 lines, why not just add a 4th?
Because it would increase the budget by more than 25%, and that's a lot when you're talking about large-scale projects.
Yeah, that's what Paimon's saying. The Aquabus is so convenient, it's really a huge shame.
Well, it is what it is. You know what my father was like. Even I often struggled to figure out what was going on in his head.
Yeah, something that big also wouldn't have been just his call.
But that would only be the case if he cared about what others thought. My father was always really stubborn. Once he made up his mind, good luck getting him to change it. From what I've heard, the rights of all the other members of the Spina only went as far as giving him advice or suggestions, and no farther. That included my mother, too.
Huh. Well, that explains why you weren't on the greatest of terms with him.
Yeah, because I wouldn't just let him keep getting his way. He was just... not very agreeable.
Boss, the boat's ready. We can head out.
All right, then let's head out.
I thought the Spina di Rosula was just like a freelance detective agency. Didn't realize she was like an oligarch. Though you think the hat would have tipped
It'll
me
be a
off.
while before we get to Poisson. Let's keep talking.
Navia, what was your mother like as a person?
Sorry.
Oh, Paimon, sorry. She totally forgot that you mentioned before that she passed away during childbirth, so you probably don't remember her at all.
Smooth.
That's all right. I've heard many stories about her from the rest of the Spina. They've always said that they were sure we would have gotten along famously. While my papa was stiff like a board, my mother was supposedly super cheerful and funny. Their complementary personalities allowed them to make up for each other's flaws. My father would run the businesses and expand our reach, while my mother would keep the peace and make sure that everyone was happy. Their work made sure that the Spina could grow and thrive.
Sounds like they were not just a well-matched couple, but fantastic business partners as well.
Yeah, but those are just stories and anecdotes after all. It's hard for me to piece together a more complete or intimate picture of her. But sometimes, I'd still look at the Clementine line and wonder, would the Spina and Poisson still be what they are today had my mother survived? Silver once said that a name is a kind of inscription, a way to etch a memory into the world. When given a name, a cold, inanimate object can gain a completely new meaning. So, I will always associate the line with her in my heart. Over the past few weeks, I've also begun to appreciate how water can take in and hold our most intense feelings and memories, as well as how one may reflect on their past by watching the sea.
Quite literally, with, Fontaine's water being able to actually hold souls and memories.
I've lost many beloved people and memories to the sea. Even though I cannot stop for them and must continue to keep moving, the fact won't change that they existed in my life and gave me the reason and motivation to move forward.
So about the 2 partners / closest confidants you've ever
Always.
had.
But no matter what, we can't change the past. But I tell myself that I need to keep looking towards the future. Everyone, even my parents, have already overcome so many obstacles. Besides, I'm the president of Spina di Rosula. I've got to keep my chin up. We've reached the shore. Let's go. I'll show you the new Poisson.
Navia, do you think she's doing all right?
Always has to cope with one thing or another.
Okay. Paimon supposes you're right. She's really been through a lot. It couldn't have been easy shouldering so much by herself.
Feels like the best thing we could do is just have a relaxing and good time for a bit. Just where she doesn't have any responsibilities. Just like go out to a nice dinner or see a film. Go to the opera. Just, a lovely night on the town. It feels like, well, actually, maybe that would be something she's done so often that it feels drab and uninteresting at this point. It's hard to tell.
Boss, you're back! Traveler and Paimon, welcome back to Poisson.
Oh, hey! Fancy seeing you again, Florent. Is it your turn to take care of Navia now?
Hey, I can totally take care of myself. For the time being, I'll go around without any attendance. We did hand over some of Malus's old responsibilities to Florent, though. It's been really nice to have him around to help out.
Thank you for the compliment, boss. As you see, I've been working closely with the boss on rebuilding Poisson. Mr. Malus was an extremely capable and respected member of the Spina. I've got some really big shoes to fill.
Hey.
All right. There's no need to be so formal. Everyone's practically old friends by now. Were you waiting here for me? Did we manage to make any progress on the statue?
Yeah, we contacted a sculptor about the job, but they can't get started on sourcing a correctly sized block without knowing the design that we want to use first.
Imagine.
You're commissioning a statue?
So basically, we've been meaning to commission a statue of my parents in commemoration of everything they've done for the Spina and the town of Poisson. But since my father was known as callously unfaithful for the longest time, it would have been too controversial to commission a statue of him.
And so what changed?
But now that his name has been cleared, and the town is also being rebuilt, I thought this would be the perfect chance to actually realize this dream.
Yeah.
The funds to build the statue were freely donated by the people of Poisson to show their appreciation for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callis and everything they did.
I thought we were struggling to rebuild. How did... Never mind. Should Navia be featured with them too?
Me?
My
I'm
throat.
just the newbie president that's running around and causing everyone trouble. Maybe we can have this conversation again in a few decades, once I've done more for the town and the people.
Counterpoint. A statue of you would look fabulous.
Hey, there's no need to be so humble. Didn't you just help save the entire country?
I agree wholeheartedly. I also believe that Boss should have a place on the statue.
Yeah, and also fabulous.
Hey, if you keep inflating my ego like this, I might just float off into the sky with my parasol. Just kidding. There's no way that I'd accept that kind of compliment at face value. At a minimum, I'd have to match what my father did for the people.
Just a matter of time.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. I just don't think I'm ready yet. Anyway, Florent, now it's up to us to confirm the final design, right?
Mm-hmm. We can ask the sculptor to start looking for a good block once we've decided on the poses for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callis. But we haven't had any real discussions yet on the possible designs. I feel like I should get a few promising designs first, and then send them over to you to review.
There's no need for all that. Let's decide on a design right now. Hey, you! Come over here with me.
Yes, madam.
Modeling a few poses, of course. Here, just pretend to be Callis, and I'll be Clementine.
I'm nowhere near tall enough for that.
Didn't you say on the boat that Callis and Clementine sounded like great partners? Well, then there's no one better to fill this role than my most valuable partner. Florent, let's grab some reference shots.
You've got it, boss. I'll go get the camera.
Well, what do you think? Got any ideas?
Shouldn't you be running this show?
I've actually discussed it a bit with Florent before, but I could never come up with any fresh or original ideas. It's probably because my idea of them is already kind of set in stone.
Because it's a statue.
So, I want to pick your brain for a bit and see if you can come up with some new and interesting ideas.
I'm all good here, boss. Feel free to start posing whenever.
Okay. Looking to the distance, pensively, yeah.
By that, do you mean as if we were standing on a boat and looking out at the sea? Sure, let's give that a try.
Whoa, you really remind Paimon of a captain and their first mate. Look over there, my dear Clementine. As you can see, every tree on that island is dripping with mora fruit.
Mora fruit?
But there's something off with the composition. This pose makes Mr. Callis look too tall next to the lady.
It does?
Oh, I see what you mean. Then let's swap.
Was Mr. Callis, that bubbly and
Well,
adorable?
Paimon is a fan. A statue like this would look fantastic on a boat.
Wait, but we can't do that. Very few people would see the statue if we were to put it on a boat. This statue is meant to be placed in the town.
But then, since we're putting it in the town, the whole point of the pose would be lost.
Oh, okay. We'll try to think of something else.
God, your entire idea was crap.
Imposing, huh? Oh, I've got it. Let's try this.
Okay, I love it. I hope we go with this one.
This pose! It makes me recall Spina di Rosula's glorious golden age.
But isn't Clementine's pose a bit too bold and heroic? Was she really that kind of person? If we were to stick with this pose, maybe people would wonder if she was actually the real boss behind the scenes.
Well, tabloids did indeed speculate as much back in the day, but the Spina pulled a few strings and made both the report and the journalist disappear?
I'm sorry. Did you just... Did you just cop to assassinating a journalist?
Oh, Paimon was just kidding! Please don't make Paimon disappear.
What Florent meant was that we asked the journalist to choose a new alias.
Oh, okay. You're positive that wasn't just a turn of phrase, right?
You're right, though, that this may not accurately represent the image of her in our hearts. Let's try to come up with something else.
Literally the last one.
A happy
Alright.
pose. You mean something like we were laughing together at a funny joke?
Would all that be able to come through with just a picture?
Would we even be able to tell what they are supposed to be laughing about?
Yeah, and that'd probably be a massive pain to sculpt as well.
Could one of you try striking a pose like you're talking while the other one laughs? That actually sounds pretty hard to pull off. Forget it, let's try something else.
Okay, there was no right answer. Good. Come on, the one where she put on the aviator shades was golden.
We tried a bunch of different ideas, but none of them felt right. Paimon's all out of brain juice now, too.
It's like saying how fast you emptied a thimble.
Oh, don't worry. We still got a lot of reference shots out of the session, and each of them can be considered to be a souvenir in their own right. Let's just keep the ideas we tried as backups. Man, if I knew I was going to do a photo shoot with the Traveler, I would have prepared a lot of outfits and props ahead of time. Oh, outfits! Ugh, that's the errand I forgot back in the city. Do either of you still remember that girl? The girl I went to see with you two. Her name is Adele.
Oh, Paimon remembers her. She was the one that we met while investigating Mr. Callus's case, right?
Ah, she always believed that her father was a good person.
Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about. So, after the case, she was finally willing to talk to me. And she told me that she wanted to join the Spina too. I said that it's fine, but young children are not allowed to join the Spina. She will just have to wait a few years, and then we'll welcome her with open arms. Since she's still a child, though, she thought I was just trying to let her down gently. But how could I get her to believe that I meant what I said? In the end, I came up with an idea. I'd have a Spina uniform made and give it to her as a gift. But I got so busy and distracted in the city that I forgot to pick the uniform up. So I did forget something important after all.
Seriously, just write it all out.
Don't worry, boss. I can send someone to pick it up right away.
On the matter of the statue, we should still come up with a few more ideas for the design. I'll have to trouble you to source some for me.
We could have just done that from the start.
Hey, but, we got to take pictures with Navia.
Yeah, you're right. They'll have some value as souvenirs at least.
Navia! Florent, guess who's back?
Huh? But aren't you supposed to...
Oh, well, if it isn't Coulter. Back already from the Fortress of Meripede?
That's right. I finally finished serving my time. Gotta say, turns out I was a lot tougher than I thought. After I got out, I immediately made a beeline back to Poisson. You could say that familiar, briny smell became a primal call, urging me to forget everything else and just come back home.
Oh boy, you wouldn't believe how hard it was. Everybody, thought I had assassinated a journalist, because, I had, but keeping up that cover story of just making him forced to choose a new pen name was exhausting, let me tell you what. By the way, we're all in on it here, right?
You wouldn't believe how much I've missed Melissa's grilled fish. I dreamed about it every time I had to get a welfare meal down there underneath the sea.
It's good to have you back, Coulter. You look as well as ever.
And this guy is?
let me introduce you. This is Coulter, another of Spina di Rosula's members. He was found guilty and sentenced to the Fortress of Meripede some time ago. But, looking at it now, it was probably another one of Marcel's plots while he worked at the Confrérie of Cabrières.
Wait, Mr. Marcel? What do you mean? He was involved in some sort of plot?
Have you not heard anything at all about the water from the primordial sea case?
Well, I know that Fontaine got flooded, but then the water levels miraculously receded. I thought that was all there was to it and didn't care to ask for any more details. Do you mean Mr. Marcel was somehow involved with all that?
Oh, looks like we'll have to explain everything from the top. That case, a lot of things have happened in Poisson since then. First things first, let me introduce you to these two. They're my most trusted partners, and they've been with me through thick and thin. Now you could call them Spina di Rosula's VIP helpers.
Oh, nice to meet you. I don't recall Navia ever generously complimenting anyone like that before. So you must be pretty amazing to get that from her.
Yeah, we are indeed pretty amazing. But we've been cool since before we even met her.
Humble again as always, I see. Even when I was totally sincere with my praise.
Nice. Spina di Rosula always seems to attract great people. Oh, that reminds me. Where are Malus and Silver? Aren't they always by your side?
About that.
Oh yeah.
Coulter,
They're
a lot
dead.
of things happened while you were gone. As you can see, even Poisson isn't quite the same as how it was before you left.
They lost their lives, keeping me safe during the flood.
What did you say? This isn't some kind of morbid welcome home prank, right? You're just scaring me on purpose because I don't know anything about what's happened.
Like, surely you heard about that whole Fontaine nearly was drowned in its entirety thing, right?
I'm sorry, but it's the truth. They weren't the only people we lost either. Many others, including Melissa, also lost their lives in the disaster.
Malus and Melissa, dead. They're just gone?
That is what happens when people die.
Malus. I was planning to give him a surprise gift once I ran into him again in town. I can't believe it.
Hey! Keep it together!
Malus and Coulter were friends for many years, and even served on many missions together during the early days of the Spina. I can understand how he feels.
Paimon's like, hey, don't have a breakdown. That's bad. I don't want you to have a breakdown.
Let's sit down somewhere, so I can tell you everything that has happened while you were gone. Fair warning, there was a lot.
There certainly was.
Okay.
Very important I get that radish. Heyo, Tsutsura. I'm sick, but I'm still streaming. Because I was gonna play Genshin anyway.
All of this. It's unbelievable. I can't believe that those stories were real. It all really happened. Has the world gone mad?
I thought all those stories were just
you
lies.
And I both feel the same way about the profound tragedy of Melusa's loss. And the sheer depravity of Marcel's actions.
I thought Mr. Marcel would always stand by the Spina. Everything he had, the Spina gave to him. It's unconscionable to have received all that, and yet still plot to kidnap and dissolve you for his insane research.
Oi, when you're part of the family, oh, you're supposed to be loyal to the family.
The good news is that the Confrérie of Cabriere is no more. Gone with them too is the entire synth manufacturing and distribution network. We finally closed the curtain on that long struggle.
Are you sure? But if Marcel wanted to rebel against us, he probably sent word in secret to Romeu.
Realm who? Not a name I've heard before either.
Florent should remember him. You see, there was once a major internal dispute regarding funding the construction of the Aquabus lines. Romeu was the leader of the faction that thought such a vast sum of mora would be better spent improving the town of Poisson. But Mr. Callis believed that an opportunity to collaborate with the Court of Fontaine and the Fontaine Research Institute was hard to come by, and would allow us to build many valuable relationships.
Yeah, and look, the lines are immaculate, and Poisson is still a heap of scrap metal bolted together.
Not only would the Aquabus be a good business investment, it would also boost our reputation among the general populace, eventually paying us massive dividends down the line.
You can see those massive dividends reflected in the hanging bridges with the loose and missing planks, the scaffolding on every single ramp.
But the two couldn't come to an agreement. Romeu ended up taking a lot of people with him when he left Spino di Rosula altogether, and the split was on extremely bad terms.
Ugh. And with Papa's stubbornness, I can definitely imagine how it must have gone down.
And of course, when he was suffering the slings and arrows of outrageous injustice, those relationships that he spent a fortune to build didn't help in the least.
Don't sling Shakespeare at me, Florent.
Yeah, you could say it was the price he paid for sticking to his beliefs.
Could have been the first time, right?
Oh, that's a good point. If Callis was really as stubborn as you say, then wouldn't he have argued with the rank and file all the time?
Oh, when you're part of the family, you know to keep your mouth shut when Papa's talking, you capiche?
Oh yeah, it eventually became a thing that just happened on every day that ended with Y. But Navia, boss, you might not know this, but he wasn't always like that.
Yeah. We're definitely not an analog of the Mafia, especially with all the drug running, 'cause we just swore that stuff off. No more smuggling or making illegal drugs for us, no sir. We're the ethical Mafia, even though we speak like this.
He used to be a lot better with taking counsel. With him listening to our advice, and Ms. Clementine also frequently on our side, it was pretty smooth sailing for a good many years.
But everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked?
But on the matter of the Aquabus, even Ms. Clementine completely stood by Mr. Callis' side.
Huh. I never knew. But from my perspective, Romeu's position had a lot going for it. Couldn't they have sat down and talked it out?
Yes, Navia, but consider Clementine knew one of the lines was going to be named after her, so...
I think the Aquabus was just the straw that broke the camel's back. On that topic, they eventually came to a rather radical conclusion. They believed that Miss Clementine lost her ability to serve as an impartial mediator when she became pregnant with Callus's child.
You're telling me she was biased towards the husband of her child? What? Crazy.
So
or the
they
father of
thought
her
she
child.
had betrayed them? But that doesn't make any sense.
I'm sick.
Before she was their mediator, my mother was also her own person, and a member of the Spina. She should have the right to take any side she wished.
Yeah, but to them, even taking a side was betrayal enough. They felt like their voices could no longer be heard once their sole mediator had gone over to the other side. Of course, Ms. Clementine then passed away, and Mr. Callis began to regard the completion of the Aquabus project as her final wish. With that, the last hope of reconciliation was gone.
So that's what happened.
From that point on, Romeu and his people cut ties with the Spina. It never gave us any kind of professional or personal courtesy ever again. Perhaps they've regarded us as enemies ever since they left. But even so, there is still no proof that they ever acted in concert with Marcel.
I've also heard that they aren't in a good financial position, so they've been lying low for a while. But as long as they exist, they'll continue to be a threat.
So you know that they aren't in a good financial position, but you didn't believe the stories about Fontaine flooding.
Huh. I think Coulter's got a point. Both Marcel and Romeo had my father in their sights for a very long time. Even though Marcel's faction has been dissolved, we still don't know anything about Romeo's whereabouts. If they're still trying to get revenge on us, with how distracted and vulnerable we are, now would be the best time.
Good thinking, boss. We should keep an eye on them at all times. I'll let my men know right away.
Thank you for that, Florent. And Coulter, thank you for telling me about this as well.
Don't worry, it's nothing. Do you have a moment right now? How about we go out for a walk? I've heard so many incredulous things today. I'm finding it a bit hard to calm down even now. I mean, to think that I'll just never see them again.
That is how death works.
In that case, why don't we go back to the court? I can pick up Adele's uniform while we're there as well. It'll save Laurent's guys a trip. Want to come with me again, you two?
Of course. That's fine by me.
Then let's go! Paimon feels like a lot's hinging on this visit.
Yeah, we want to see Adele cheer up.
We really are the best of partners. Come on, let's go.
Oh, thank God there's nothing sus about what's going on here.
Are we not taking the boat this time?
It's nice to walk from time to time, isn't it? Think of it as something like a hiking. Once we're there, we can stay a few days before we return.
Sounds good. I haven't walked this road in a long time.
Road. Yes. That's what we're on. The road. The road my feet are on. The walking road. The road we're currently walking on. Definitely existing road. That road.
Well, we've walked far enough for now. Let's take a break. Since we're out for a walk, we shouldn't stress too much about the destination.
I've grown old, so I'm not as fit as before. It's a good thing that at least my work down in the fortress was quite the workout.
Well, Paimon thinks you're doing great. We didn't have to slow down for you at all.
Back in the days before the aquabus lines were built, we often had to hike north with our goods, then catch a boat to the court. Malus and I must have traveled this way hundreds of times. When we were tired, we would lay down for a while on the grass, and when we were hungry, we'd catch a fish or two.
It's really hard to eat the mechanical ones.
The Spina was still on the rise back then. Mr. Callis was generous, and everyone had the chance to strike it rich. So, of course, we all worked really hard. And now, in the blink of an eye, the aquabus lines have been built, and this road has fallen into disuse.
Don't think that's a bad thing.
Oh, I know. I was just being a little nostalgic.
Then let's stay here a bit longer. Anyone want snacks?
I do.
Oh, is this another chance to try some of Navia's macarons? Paimon's been dreaming of them.
I want one.
Yep, I figured you wouldn't say no to a few more.
I'll take 6.
Oh, wait. Let me check if I have all the ingredients. Malus and Silver used to take care of tasks like this.
Were you planning on cooking them out here on the grass?
Okay. The stove's looking good. And as for the ingredients,
What
seems
stove?
like we're all out of flour and sugar. The two most important ingredients of all.
Yes. Only two things are missing from this pastry. Flour and sugar.
Oh,
I could get
would
some.
you? Oh, but it would be too much to ask you to go on a trip just for those.
It's fine, I've got like 80 of them in my extraordinarily nebulous bag of holding.
We should contribute to making the macaron too. Don't worry, we cook out in the wild all the time, so she should have some stuff on hand.
Oh, that's great. Then I'll leave the ingredient gathering to you. As long as we have some sweet flours and wheat, I can start the baking.
Then I'll go look for some boxes nearby for a makeshift table and chairs.
Great. Then I'll prep the stove. Let's get to work, everyone.
Is that the portable stove? That might be the portable stove. No, it's not. The portable stove is like a floating barbecue grill or something. Where is it in my gadgets? Could have sworn there was one in my gadgets. Alright, I think it was one-time use, and I never made a new one. That might be it. Also, the parametric's up, so I'm gonna just slap that down and shove some stuff into it.
There is no escape.
Strike a pose! Coming at ya! Ha-ha! Ha! Umbrella warfare, I guess! Cha! Ha! Coming at ya!
What are you two still firing at? The stove? You're draining our HP to attack the stove? Cripes.
The show begins!
How did it go? Did you find the ingredients?
Man, this sickness really swiped me out. I don't know if I can get
You've
through
all
Navia's
done your
quest.
part. Just leave the rest to me.
Depends on how much longer it is.
Whoa, these macarons look and taste magnificent! Your cooking is as good as ever, Navia.
Boss's baking skills have always been famous. Everyone in the Spina knows how exceptionally talented she is.
Oh, it's just a hobby. There's no need to praise me for it like that.
Have you two seriously never considered joining us? You're so close to the boss, and she obviously trusts you with all her heart, so...
There's still some important things we must do. Can't just not
I see.
stop finding
Is
my
that
brother.
why you have to always stay on the road?
You just happened to walk in on our little reunion. It's actually been quite a while since we last spent time together. Adventurers never stay in one place for long. The name of Spina di Rosula would just tie them down. Besides, after everything we've been through together, I'm sure our hearts would remain intertwined even if we found ourselves on opposite sides of the world.
Heck yeah.
Even if Paimon was far beyond the horizon, she'd still remember the delicious taste of Navia's macaron.
Because Paimon can only think of food.
I understand now. Then I am very lucky indeed to have been graced with the chance to meet the two of you. I will endeavor to make the most of this short yet fortuitous encounter, and enjoy every moment we spend together.
This is how humans
We've
talk.
got no wine with us, but let's still toast with water. In
Sorry. Is it gourmet water from Nouvette's private stash?
Cheers! Hey, what are you doing? Quick, join in on the toast!
Yeah, cheers!
May your travels go smoothly, may the Spina continue to grow, and may our friendship last until the end of time. All set? let's move out then. I asked some old acquaintances in town to make Adele's uniform, so we should be able to pick it up right away.
Sorry, I'm really kind of flagging a bit. I want to get this done tonight, but if there's like a part 3 or 4, I definitely will not make it through this.
Hey there, Ludovine. How's business lately?
Ah, the Demoiselle of Spina de Rosula. I must say, your generous patronage is the one thing keeping me from going bankrupt.
Nonsense. We all know what a talented businesswoman you are. Oh, and don't forget, she's the boss now.
Hey, you call the boss, so you're gonna be speaking to Mr. Nailbet. You get what I'm saying?
My mistake, my mistake. I just got so used to calling her Demoiselle. Are you here for the uniform?
Yep. I forgot to drop by earlier when I was running errands around here.
I didn't expect Demoiselle to come and pick it up in person. It's just a uniform after all. Any of your folks could have come instead.
Navia's always liked to take even small things seriously.
Hey, that's not the only reason I'm here. We mostly just needed a walk to clear our heads. There are few things more uplifting than taking the first step on a new journey.
Boss has got a point. Going on a trip with friends is always better than staying cooped up at home.
Very well. Please, wait here while I retrieve the uniform for you.
Bosson's boss has got it going on.
Can someone remind Paimon again why Adele wants to join the Spina?
She hasn't given me any concrete reasons. All she says is that she really looks up to me. After we cleared her father's name, she became a lot more cheerful and outgoing. It's probably because she now knows for sure that her father was never a bad person. She said she used to be terrified of Papa, so as a result, she found all the rest of the Spina super scary as well. But the Spina is very different now. She mustered up the courage to talk to me, and felt like I could really understand her.
Two of you have contended with similar circumstances.
Yeah, you could say that. By uncovering the truth about the case, I was able to give her closure at the same time. She said that she wanted to become someone like me. Someone who could lend a hand to others, instead of standing still and waiting for others to help her.
From the sound of it, she'll be a wonderful addition to the Spina.
I think so too. But for now, let's focus on giving her a great atmosphere to grow and thrive. She can commit to us once she's older, and can really make that decision for herself.
Another innocuous person. I wasn't just hearing things.
Is something up, Traveler?
Someone's tailing us.
Tailing? Oh, Paimon's coming.
I'll go check it out too. Coulter, please hold on to this for me.
All right.
Paimon saw them too. They headed up.
Stop right there.
Come back, Pepe Hands. Peppy?
We knew you were going to be difficult.
Seems like if we want them to talk, we're gonna need to teach them a lesson first.
Oh,
brothers,
combat?
There's no need to skulk in the dark anymore. Let's take them out.
Okay.
Coming at ya. May I present? Coming at ya.
Oh, she has her 5-star weapon. I want it. It's an axe.
Now, talk. Who are you? And why were you tailing us?
Don't think we'll let you off easy if you keep silent.
Let's see. We got people up above and down below as well.
How did it go, boss? Are any of you hurt?
If you thought they stood any chance against us, you were sorely mistaken. Anyway, stop playing tough and start talking. There won't be any room for negotiation once the Maison Gardiennage gets involved.
We're looking to get vengeance on Spina di Rosula. We were discovered and can't beat you in a fight. We admit it. We lost.
Get revenge? Wait, you're not Romeu's followers, are you?
You actually know that name? But if you do, then surely you should understand why we hate you so much.
Calm your butt.
Indeed. You haven't got the faintest hope of winning right now.
We were out drinking when we saw Navia. We got so angry we decided to follow you guys and look for an opportunity to really mess up your day. Too bad you guys messed up ours first.
We were gonna like follow you to the dinner table, and then we were gonna put slightly too much salt in your food, so you'd be eating a nice meal, but then be like, hey, this kind of tastes a little salty, and like you'll be sit there like stricken by paralysis of indecision, wondering like, gosh, I know it is really too salty. Was it so salty that we have to send it back to the restaurant and possibly insult the chef? Oh man, that was gonna be the most amazing justice and revenge ever perpetrated. Anyway, what were we saying?
Huh?
You're lying. You followed us all the way here, and there's
You're
more
pretty
to
sharp.
this.
But so what? We didn't do anything. And now it should be pretty obvious that we can't do anything to you anyway. Seeing you like that just really ticked us off. And we let the drink go to our heads.
Listen, Callus is long dead. No matter what happened in the past, I want to be able to start things anew. I am the current president of Spina di Rosula. If your boss wants to talk with me, I'd be happy to meet with him. I won't press charges for your attack. That should also help demonstrate my sincerity.
I understand. Thank you. I'll let our boss know.
But if you so much as think about pulling something like this again, I won't be so lenient next time. Understood?
All right. We get it. Come on, let's go.
Are you sure it's okay to just let them go like that, Navia?
I don't want to inherit my father's grudges, too. Moreover, when it comes to the Aquabus, I don't think what my father did was entirely correct either. If the other side is willing to talk, I'm happy to open the door for a reconciliation. Opportunities for new beginnings are all around us.
I support Boss's decision as well. The concept of an eye for an eye is a primitive practice that has no place in today's Spina di Rosula.
Yes. Plus, we already know that they're strapped for cash. If their financial situation is that dire, they don't have what it takes to challenge us. So this may be the best time to talk. I still think we should keep an eye out for Romeu's folks, though. If he decides to ignore the warning I gave his men, then we could still have a fight on our hands.
Yeah, those guys definitely didn't look like big fans of yours.
I'd rather things not go that far, since, though we haven't talked to each other for years, once upon a time we were all a part of the Spina di Rosula family.
Yep, that's how I feel as well. Anyway, now that we've sent them packing, we don't have to worry about those guys anymore. It's getting late already, so why don't we stay the night in the Fleuve Cendre? We can head back to Poisson tomorrow. I'll also ask someone to write Florent a letter and inform him of everything that happened here today, so he can increase security around Poisson and be on guard against any suspicious individuals.
Do we have to stay in the Fleuve Sonda again? Even the pillows there smell like seaweed.
Sorry, that's just what happens when you live near water and don't get much sunlight. Poisson's pretty much the same though, so I've long since gotten used to it. We can still go out in the evening for some grilled fish and drinks though. Betcha there'll be people singing sea shanties too. How does that sound?
Huh. That does sound pretty cool. Okay, Paimon's on board now. Let's go. Paimon wants to sing too.
Oh, we got a little gift box. I wonder if that's furnishing or quest item. It's hard to tell sometimes.
Coming back here really does feel like this place is starting to grow on Paimon. If you think about it, it would be kind of weird if the Spina's base at the court was some super luxurious building like the Palais Mermonia.
Totally. Right on the money, Paimon. Although, of course, with the continued growth of the Spina, Papa wanted Poisson to eventually grow into a metropolis, not unlike the court. He was a very ambitious man, who rarely looked behind or beneath him. For better or worse, that always made him stand out from the crowd.
And that's also why people hated him just as much as they loved him.
All right. Why don't you go wait for me at the restaurant? I'll go do some prep and I'll get someone to tidy up your room while I'm at it. You can use the same room as last time. You still remember the room number, yeah?
Yep. Kinda hard to forget when there are only so many rooms here after all.
Oh, did I just hear someone taking a dig at Fleuve Sandra? I'll tell my guys to stuff your pillows full of actual seaweed right now.
Oh, Paimon's sorry.
Rude.
Please have mercy, Navia. If you do that, then Paimon really won't be able to sleep at all.
I was just kidding. Be on your way now.
This one's to my bedroom, I think.
Say what you mean. No problem's too big to solve those parts.
It's taking him so long.
Adventuring underground is way more fun than I thought.
Oh, you do just have to sit in a random chair, huh? Cool.
Hello? Are you asleep yet?
What happened?
Oh, no, not at all. I just figured that since we don't get to enjoy nights like these very often, we should try to enjoy it to the fullest. Wanna go fishing? I've got some rods and lures ready.
Oh, so that's the prep you were talking about. Oh, welcome.
Hopefully I didn't wake you or anything.
Well, since it's coming from you.
I knew it. You really are my best partner. Okay, let's go. To the fishing spot.
To the fishing spot. I do love the dolphin jump you can do out of the water.
How can you call this fishing when you're using a fully automatic rod?
What?
Mm-hmm.
We're fishing.
What's the problem?
Lots of people in Poisson use rods like these.
We're catching fish in a very technical sense.
You know, attentively watching the float and then excitedly reeling in the catch when you finally hook something?
Nope. It's about
Well,
getting
that's
fish.
one way to enjoy fishing. What do you think, Traveler?
Automation's more efficient.
That's how I feel as well. To me, I'm happy as long as I catch some fish.
Honestly, Paimon's mainly shocked at how much energy you still have at this hour. Usually by this time of night, it's a struggle for Paimon to even keep her eyes open.
Huh. It might just be something that runs in my family.
That's a thing?
I'm sure you'd get even sleepier if I delved more deeply into it. Anyway, I was just thinking about how grateful I am to my mother, as well as the rest of the Spina.
Your mother?
My father always had a lot of unrealistic expectations for me. But the more that he tried to get me to become like him, the less I wanted to listen to what he had to say. My mother never had those kinds of expectations, though. I've heard that she had only one wish for me, which was that I would have a happy and secure childhood. All the members of the Spina greatly respected her wish, so no matter what I did as a child, they were happy to humor me. Can you imagine? Whenever my father wanted to scold me for something I'd done, everyone would form up into 2 rows and just stand silently and listen to him rant. Malouse and Silver were always there too. No matter what Papa yelled, nobody else would say a word. Eventually, Papa must have recognized scolding me over trivial matters was pointless, because he eventually stopped getting on my case so often.
Paimon would have never guessed.
Yeah. Looking back on it now as an adult, I can hardly believe how patient and kind everyone was. When I was young, I often thought that I could do whatever I wanted, because there'd always be someone there to clean up after me. But once, I saw Malouse come back wounded. He wouldn't tell me how he'd been injured, but I could tell it had something to do with me. I learned then that there's always a cost to making a mistake. The more you care about those around you, the more you should care about doing the right thing to the best of your abilities. Because if you do falter, there'll inevitably come a time when you'll have to face the consequences. And when that time comes, those most precious to you really will throw themselves in front of you and pay the price for your mistakes.
Sorry, mine's blanking out there. This must be really hard for you, Navi.
Sorry. I shouldn't have brought that up. I wasn't planning to talk about sad things tonight.
Best to just
Basically,
store
I
all
was
those
just
memories
saying that the
away.
nurturing atmosphere of the Spina must have been my mother's legacy, rather than my father's. And if that's the only way that I can continue to feel her love, then I'd like to pass that warmth on.
Is that why you let those guys go today?
Mm-hmm. Although, maybe there's a part of not wanting to repeat the mistakes of the past. I want to be reasonable, at least. Hey, look! I think you've got something on the line!
But why isn't the rod automatically reeling it in?
Oh, there must be something wrong with how I installed the mechanism. It was my first time putting one of those rods together. We can't let it get away. Come on, you two. Let's catch it.
This is very important.
You want Paimon to help too?
You never help with the fish, Paimon. For the rest of the night, your rod continues to rack up catch after catch. Navia can't hook a single fish. She's upset about her bad luck, but only when you head back does Paimon discover the real reason to the mystery of why she didn't get a single bite.
You didn't attach a hook to your line?
Womp womp. Oh, that Navia.
Stop wasting time! The boss ain't gonna wait all day. We'll go ahead with the operation tomorrow. Do with that information as you wish.
Well, your rod was missing a part too, so I guess that makes it fair.
Well, if we're just talking about the number of missing parts, sure. Oh, never mind. Paimon really can't keep her eyes open anymore.
Yeah, I was missing the auto reeler. You were missing
Alright,
any
go
feasible
to
way
bed.
of getting a fish.
I had a great time today.
Bye, Navia.
See you tomorrow. So how was last night? Did you get a good night's sleep?
Paimon dreamt that she danced with the sea stars, so you could say it was stellar. Get it?
Huh.
Well, I think that's it for me for today. Thanks for watching.
I didn't know you had such a great sense of humor.
See? This guy gets it!
Anyway, let's head out. I'll arrange for a boat to take us back to Poisson. I'm sure Adele will be happy to see you too.
Paimon hopes she'll really appreciate your gift.
I hope so too.
I am, however, falling asleep. The illness has taken it out of me. I'll finish this up another day. I can't go on, I'm sorry. Let me find somewhere else you can get a Genshin drop from. Real quick. I'm sure somebody on Twitch is streaming Genshin today. Probably. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know.
Adventuring underground is way more fun than I thought.
Say what you mean. No problem's too big to solve.
Looking at the list. Looking at the list. Alright, somebody who has basically no viewers. Just someone completely random.
Say what you mean. No problem's too big to solve.
Funnies. Oh, the funnies. Wait, did I get knocked out of my chair for some reason? Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and raid this dude. And thank you again for watching. And I'll be streaming tomorrow, as usual. Warframe Wednesday. We'll see if I feel better. Hopefully I'll have more energy. And, you know, cross fingers. But anyway, until then, take care. Thank you again. Good night. Peace.